how do I do this? Ladies and gentlemen, James Hetfield.
Thank you for coming. Very much appreciated. I know you traveled a ways, and to be here to witness what's happening here, I'm grateful. Thanks.
Please have a seat. This is a special treat for us tonight. It's rare that someone decides to be generous. I'm Terry Karges, by the way. I'm the lucky executive director here at the Petersen Automotive Museum. And the genesis of this is that I got a call from Ray Masterman, and he said, James is thinking about doing something with the collection, and he wants more people to see it. Anyway, it evolved that we made a deal that the whole collection would come to us. And so here we are. Thank you so much, James. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it.
Here's another fuel-fed feature from Blacktop magazine.
There's some people, James, that we were going to talk about, do a little shout out here early on. Maybe one of the fellows here in the front row.
Yeah, that this stuff would not have happened without the brilliant eye and mind of a great friend of mine, Mr. Rick Dorr. Please stand up. Say hi. Yeah, and there's another builder here who is a part of this collection. Scott Mugford, are you here? I haven't seen you yet. Scott,
where is Scott?
Stand up if you're here.
Give us a wave.
He's got 2 cars as well here. Without his eye and hard work, they wouldn't have happened. So thanks, Scott, wherever you are.
So some questions.
Oh, and Josh Mills too. Yes, one of the 32. He's not here.
Your dad always had a project going in the garage. How did that touch you? How did that affect where we are today?
Where's Dad? Yeah. Where's Dad? He's in the garage. It was kind of just a fun place to explore. It was a part of the house that the rest of the family didn't know much about. Me and my dad, he'd be in there tinkering with something, no matter what it was. He had grown up without a father, and he was raised by his grandfather, and I think he was neglected a lot. So he wanted to learn about stuff, what it is to be a man, what it is to do learn these things that, and the only way he knew was to do it himself and to try it himself and experience it himself. He didn't have a lot of mentors, so he was in there, tying his own flies for fly fishing, and I don't know if he ever did it ever, but working on cars. There were deer carcasses hanging in the garage. So a lot of things, he was in there just trying to discover what it is to be a man. So that it was a man cave, pre-man cave, I guess.
Were you involved in those projects?
Yeah, I was not hanging from the rafter. Well, I was in a different way, but yeah, I was hanging out, wondering, what's going on in here. What are you tinkering on this time? And loading his own ammunition, pouring his own lead. He just got into it, and that was way before YouTube, where now you can go on and figure out how to do all kinds of stuff. But he was doing it, hands-on, and experience it for himself and fail over and over until he got it right.
How old were you when you learned how to drive?
Gosh, when I was growing up, learning to drive, that was it. I couldn't wait. I had a buddy in high school who got a car before everyone else, and we were all jealous of his car, and Chevelle, and then my buddy got a Duster, and I'd just hang out with the guys who had cars because I wanted to get around and hear the sounds, and it was cooler than my skateboard. No doubt.
And that was in Downey? You grew up in Downey?
I was in Downey, California. Yeah.
What was your first car?
My first car was a car I borrowed from my brother. It was a '67 Barracuda fastback. It didn't suck. It was pretty cool. Three on the tree, and crashed it within the first couple of weeks.
What was the first car that you thought, I might really change this car?
Let's see. We were on tour, and a friend of mine who was working on the tour, I was just really into the Tri-5s. Chevy, I loved the 55, and he had a bead on a two-door post, and that from there, that's really kind of started it. I wanted just a simple car that goes really fast, and I put a engine in there that was way too big for it, and we had fun. You know, we were doing a couple of the albums, and I remember when we'd get really frustrated, and I'd hand the keys to Bob Rock, who was producing our stuff, and I'd say, "Here, go let some steam out," and you know, the tires would come back bald.
Did you know we have Blacktop Trading Cards? That's right. You can get your car on a cool trading card and share it with your friends at car shows and that sort of thing. Blacktop Trading Cards. Check it out at blacktopmagazine.com/cards.
Hi, I'm Christina Michelle. Thanks for watching Blacktop TV.
Do you remember a particular car that you saw that turned your head completely, that was a custom car?
Anything that made noise was just spectacular, you know? Anything that bothered my parents, pretty much. Yeah.
And when music came into your life, how did that affect what you were doing creatively with the cars and or the music? And is there any crossover there?
The loudness and the bothering my parents, yes. That was pretty much, yeah. Music, gosh, I'll tell you that for me, growing up, music was a major part of our family. You know, some tough childhood stuff happened. My father left, my mom passed away. I went to go live with my brother, finished high school, and music was my friend. It really was. It spoke to me, it spoke about me, and it wasn't gonna leave me. So music became my best friend.
What was the first car that you built as a part of your collection?
Well, you know, before joining the Beatniks car club, I got a hold of a '53 Buick Special convertible, and turned that into a sled by myself, and then I had a friend fix it and make it straight and drive and all that fun stuff. But I was super early into, like, again, daring to fail like my dad did, you know. All right, a cut-off wheel and a welder. I've never welded before, and I'm gonna learn how to do it. And it's just so fun to go in there and just explore and try stuff. And I was fortunate enough to be able to afford some of these toys and tools.
What was your next car?
You know, with Rick Dore's influence, walking to the next level through a lot of the car shows, you know, especially in, you know, the Roaster Show, and, you know, people winning awards and people making amazing pieces of art. And he was the one that allowed me to get to that next level. And, you know, financially I was in a really great place because this band I was in was doing pretty good. And then we were able to hook up and join forces and create some art that no one had done before.
You know, talking about the creative process, are there similarities in creating a new car and a design and writing music?
A lot of the cars would come out, they were an idea before we even found the car. I mean, like the Skyscraper, one of the cars you'll see at the very beginning when you walk in, not to give it away, but that color, I had that color in mind before I even had the car or knew what car was going to go on. So just my mind was 5 cars ahead of that one. You know, I'd already had so many ideas, and Rick as well. You know, he's had like a wish list of cars that he wanted to do. You know, I've never done one of these. I've never done one of these, and the Skylark was certainly one of them.
You built 11 customs. How long a period did that take? How long a process is that?
Oh gosh, when did we start? Yeah, so maybe, yeah, about over 14 years.
And you're still talking to each other? What was the, you did cars with some other builders. What
Yeah.
was that attracted you to those people, and you were doing things with Rick? You had 3 different builders that you worked with?
Yeah. You know, I'd gotten into a little more of the rat rod, a little more of the garage, because I could actually do some of that stuff. And yeah, Scott Mugford, Blue Collar Customs. He also was someone that I really related to, and he was in a small shop, and he was the guy that would say, "Let's do it. Let's try this. Let's go for it." And I would bring him a couple ideas, and we started to do like a drag, more like a dragster kind of rail out of I think it was a 29 sedan. But the truck, straight edge truck, and of course Iron Fist, which is the 36 5-window, came out spectacular. And there's a lot of work that you don't really get to see in that car that he did, you know, in the trunk and all. You know, obviously there's amazing work on all the cars that you don't really get to see.
The details in these cars, the truly pieces of art when you see that, and you can imagine the hours that went into thinking through what was going to happen and then how to make it happen, because you're talking about everything custom made.
Right, and Terry, it was very important that these were drivers. These were cars that I took my kids to school in. You know, we'd show up and, you know, there was actually...
Did the kids want to get out of the car, or was it?
No. Well, getting over the speed bump in the parking lot was always difficult. It's like, I can't take this car. You got to get out here. You know, you got to walk. There were also, you know, I would do donations for the school at the auction to, you know, I'll drive your kid to school for, you know, a month in one of the hot rods that you get to choose, and that was always fun. I think we hit a lot of the really important cars throughout the hot rod world. I mean, I hit the 32, the Skylark, and then obviously there was a couple of cars that were never even invented that we came up with. You know, the Aquarius and then the Black Pearl, which are 2 hand-built from scratch from a drawing.
Spectacular.
Cars. Yeah.
Spectacular.
Here's a drawing, and okay, build a car from it. How do you do that? It just blew my mind. You know, just start bending some rod. Okay, here's the shape, and then all of a sudden there's a few more pieces to it, and then here's a tire, and they put it, and all of a sudden there's a cage, and then they're stretching skin over it, and it's
You'll see the silver car, the Aquarius, that when James was talking about the exhibit, he said, no, this car has to be on a turntable. This is a showcase, and when you see it, it's breathtaking. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you were so right. It's such a great way to show the car.
Yeah, it's able to come to you, and yeah, it's a musical turntable.
What's your daily driver?
To Tesla. And a Raptor. Yeah.
Perfect cross, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect mix.
And, you know, I live in Colorado now. It's not the best weather for hot rods. But in California, the car that I love driving, I've got a 52 Olds, the Grinch, that I love, and I've driven it ever since it was built. It was a custom that I couldn't let you guys have because I still drive it a lot. Yeah, but it will be in the book that will be coming out. Yeah.
There's a book that is that Scott Williamson did the photography on,
Yeah.
and it's stunning. It'll be available, I think you can go on Amazon and pre-order now, but it'll be available in May. It's on the collection. It's a spectacular profile and pictures for 1,000 days of all these beautiful cars in detail.
Yeah.
Like I say, Amazon, you can pre-order now.
Yeah, it's this collection, and the Grinch is included in that as well. That was spectacularly shot by Scott. You know, he is an amazing artist. He shot these cars, and it's no post production. This is all, hey, if the car doesn't look good in my lens, it's not ready yet, and take 2 weeks to shoot one car.
We've had an affiliation with Scott here forever. In fact, our conference room downstairs is filled with Scott's work and has been since we reopened.
Right. So it's a coffee table book. So I get to look at them daily.
What's behind the name of the exhibition?
Oh, Reclaimed Rust? Yeah. Well, I believe everyone needs and deserves a second chance, or a third chance, or a fourth chance at life, right?
Is the 1961 Lincoln the same as the one with the green flames?
Yeah, 63. It's okay. Yeah, 61.
Which was
it was the green flames until, well, it was me and my buddy Robert, who's here today. We were driving down the street, and some lady decided to run into the side of it for some reason. And I didn't think she was gonna do it, and I'm thinking, no. She pulled out, boom! And that car weighs 2,000 pounds. I mean, it's the eat me car, from Animal House. And so the flames got painted over.
Of all the
She was fine.
very concerned.
She might have had a heart attack when me and my buddy Robert, who's quite big and tattooed, both step out of the car. It's like, oh my God. Are you okay? She's like, oh yeah, good.
The Lincoln is such a departure from the customs that in the collection.
That was early. That was early on. That was one of the cars that, it was just something that it was on the side of the road in Novato, up in Northern California. I think it was like $800, and I sold the engine for $500. So it was easy. It was easy. Do a grill, wheels, and the interior in, of course, crushed velvet. Of course.
Some Laker pipes.
And it had a siren that my kids really loved. Oh, and a PA. Yeah. Get out of the way. Yell at their buddies pulling into the school parking lot.
Is there a favorite in the collection?
Well, I'd say Skyscraper, the one my oldest daughter, Callie, she named it that, the Skyscraper, because it's a skylark, but it's scraping the ground. It's like, Skyscraper. Hey, that's cool. Thank you.
Was there one rebuild that was more satisfying than the others, and why?
I'd say, well, there's the straight edge truck that you'll see in there that was quite a mess when I got it. I found it, I found it in the paper, and some guy had a ramp on the back, and he had his golf cart on it. It was a golf cart hauler, but it was an extended cab, 50s Ford. So I thought that was pretty unique. And hey, let's make this into a daily driver. Once we got it, and when you get someone else's custom car, you start dissecting it and find out, oh my God, this guy welds worse than me, and we need to fix a lot, And of course, when your builder's doing something, and every mechanic comes and says, oh, who worked on this before? My God, they've done it all wrong. I mean, just like anyone building something, the guy before who did it didn't know what they were doing. So we did discover that, and that took a long time and a lot of massaging and love put into that vehicle.
Well, we are truly honored to have you here, James, your collection. Let's hear it for James Hetfield here tonight.
Again, appreciate everyone coming and everyone who had a part in making these vehicles. Thank you so much. It's a great service, and I really appreciate the fact that I get to have these here and be here. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Zoe Scarlett, and please make sure to subscribe to Blacktop TV here on YouTube.